Hello, everybody, and welcome to this D&D Essentials Kit unboxing, first thoughts, video kind of thing. I don't have obviously I don't have an unboxing kind of setup where it'll be over me, looking down on it. So it's going to be me unboxing and showing the camera. I've never done this before, but I just got this, and I thought it would be cool to go through it, and it's a hefty box. So I got this from Target it's $25. The Target app lied to me. It said it was in stock in one of the stores in my area. It was not, and it was not listed as in stock in my local Target, the one I normally go to. But when I went there, I saw one on the shelf, so I grabbed it. It was I think it was officially released last week. I believe it is a Target exclusive for now. Although I heard someone say that it was going to be in Walmart too, but I had not heard that anywhere else other than the internet. So let me take off the plastic. I love the cover art. I think it's great. You have an adventurer and their sidekick, because there are sidekick rules in here, and then Blue Eyes White Dragon. I really like white dragons. They're my favorite kind of dragon, just because they're idiots. I just like dragons who, they're still very dangerous. They're dragons, but dragons which kind of go against the cunning Smaug, stereotype, and they're just bestial morons who maybe think they're also smarter than they are because they're dragons. People are afraid of dragons. Dragons are smart. Okay. Take off the lid. Let's see how I'm going to do this. Let me put this over here. I'm going to use my headphones. I don't need those since no one's talking to me. And they go falling. Oh well. First things first is the dice. Nice set of dice on top. Let's see. 2d20s, love it. I got a 6 and a 2, because I'm terrible at rolling dice. It's probably not going to focus. I don't think I have it set up to do that. But they're translucent red. Nice and classic looking. Translucent, which is nice. You can see inside that it doesn't look like there's any air bubbles or anything. 2d20s. Love that there are 2d20s. 4d6s for your rogues and your wizards. Also very nice. And then normal stuff. D8, D4, D12, D10, and percentile, although I don't think any of my percentile dice... No, all of my percentile dice look like this. Or the numbers are kind of big and sideways. And these are just... And weirdly enough, these ones are the only ones that have no denotation under 60 or 90. Every other die, even the D6, has a line under the 6, even though it's only 6-sided. But the one that actually has a 6 and a 9 on it doesn't. I mean, it's easy to tell because the odds are all on one side and evens are all on the other. But no, I want to be able to... When I roll it, I want to be able to just instantly tell which one is which, not have to look at the other numbers. But still, very nice dice. Red's not my favorite color in the world. I would never have purchased this color, but I really do like... I actually really like them. Color-wise and stuff. 13 and 6. Still terrible. Okay. Next up is the thing I'm probably most excited about in this adventure. Or in this box. Which is the adventure. It's got that cool cover art again. It's pretty decently thick. It's got some thickness to it. 64 pages. Got some monster stats at the back. Let's see. Just flipping through. Oh, that might be a new monster. I was going to see if there's any new monsters. Gorthok the Thunder Boar. That's pretty cool. Is a primal nature spirit. It's a boar as big as an elephant. I like boars and pigs and stuff, so that's cool. Okay, that's neat. And then, sorry, I'll talk more. I think that's new ghoul art. I don't remember that. It's creepy. Very creepy. Okay, and then looks like some NPCs. Don John Raskin, who's like a big game hunter, it looks like. He's got like a hat with teeth on it, a shark tooth necklace. He's got a toothpick in his mouth. And this handsome McEdgelord over here with his scars and his cool haircut. Falcon the Hunter. My only companion is the road. Centaur, carrion crawler, some blights, a banshee. Yeah. Is this the 5e art for Banshee? I've seen this art before, but I feel like it's not the 5e Banshee art. It almost looks like 3.5 or 4e. Talos must be a big deal in this, because here's another Talos thing. Let's see. It's got a little deal on creatures, like for DMs, new DMs running this. Little thing on how creatures work, which is nice. Paper's nice. Nice and sturdy. Got some maps in here. Lots of maps. Yeah, like a map on every page. Wow. There's literally a map on like every page to every other page. Oh. This map was teased a while ago. Somewhere. I can remember that Chris Perkins said this had to do with something he was working on. And it's the Dragon Barrow, it says. I wonder if this is... I think there was like a Storm Tower as well that he teased. Maybe I already passed it, because that would make sense if Talos is a big deal. We're back in Phandalin. There's a little Phandalin map. So I've heard this is both like a, not necessarily a sequel, but sort of a sequel. I like that. There's a little undead horse on the front page. It's both a sequel and something you can run concurrently with Lost Mines of Phandalin. I've never run Lost Mines. I have played through part of it. The first time I played 5e. First time I played 5e was the starter set. My friend bought the starter set. We were playing 4e at the time even. We started 4e in I think 2011, 2012, so towards the end of the 4e life span. We had kind of been paying attention to D&D Next. We didn't love a lot of stuff we were reading in D&D Next. We liked 4e. 4e was our game. We really did enjoy it. And yeah, I'll talk about it in a minute. But the starter set came out. My friend bought the starter set. He was our DM at the time. I wasn't DMing yet. He ran us through the adventure. We all died. I was a halfling rogue named Milo Goodbarrel, he was up for whatever the opposite of what you just said was. And I took that pretty literally. Like, he was probably kind of Kendery. I'm sure I had just read the first Dragonlance book, because I never read those as a kid. Because I got into Dungeons & Dragons when I was a little older. Like I said, 2012, which would have been after I graduated college. But, yeah, so we got killed, and I was like, cool, I don't think I need to play this again. Awfully deadly, and we were used to 4E, where your hero is from level 1. Like, that's... My poor little rogue got his head smashed by a bugbear because we glitched to the end. I found a secret entrance, and we're like, we'll go through the secret entrance. And then there's a bugbear who can deal, 30 damage a hit or whatever, and I'm just, well, my character's dead. I think one person survived, and I don't think finished the fight. I think ran. So yeah, that was my first experience with 5e. So I don't know much about the Lost Mines of Phandalin other than I got killed by a bugbear. So I've never explored it more, because after that I just got the player's handbook. I can't even remember why, because I didn't love, like I said, I didn't love the first experience, but now I adore 5e. It's my favorite edition for sure. Of the 2 editions I've played, I'm not gonna edition war. 4e is not that bad, people. It's quite good. It's quite fun. I've often said I would like to play just an Essentials game just to see what that was like, because I feel like there's a lot of really cool stuff in Essentials and a lot of stuff that translates into 5e, and I feel like people don't necessarily recognize that. Warlocks are just a 4th edition class. They have encounter powers. They have they get a feat every 2 levels. They're just called something different. They're one of the most popular classes. They're a 4E class. It's not that bad, people. Just because, don't listen to what you hear on the internet. Try it for yourself. Anyway, back to this. There's a little box that comes for all the cards I can see, which is nice. A little cardboard box. That's pretty cool. I like that. It says Essentials Kit on the front. It's got the ampersand on the back. There we go. Dungeons and Dragons on top. That's nice. I'll have to take some cards and put it in there. Okay. Now we're going to get into all the cards. Initiative cards. I won't use these probably, just because I have my own initiative system where I take little dry erase marker things. Are they handy? They are handy. I got these from Target. I think they go on laundry bins. So you just take them, and I just stick them on my screen. Going around so the players can all see. I have one for all the players, and on the back I have a little letter. Now, on the back isn't dry erase, so I had to get dry erase tape. I misread. I thought they were dry erase on both sides. They're not. So I got just dry erase tape. It's fine. And I just stick them across the edge of my DM screen, and the players can read them, and I have to go right to left instead of left to right, but I've just gotten used to it. And because it's kind of, the players can see, I can see, we skip turns a lot less. I very rarely, because, when you're DMing, you forget sometimes. You skip somebody's turn. It happens to everybody. Happens, enough. It just happens. If it ever happens to you, never take it personally. Your DM's just trying to do it, and they skipped you on the list. Because on stream, I still have to do the list. But yeah, I feel like I skip a lot less. I used to do something like this. I used to have little tents with numbers, and I would give them to each player. I kind of wish these were tents. Just because if it's a 1, they're kind of, and they're not super colorful. I made them all different colors. So if it's just kind of sitting in front of the player, if your table's a little crowded, or even if you use miniatures and you got like your character sheet and your pens and stuff, it's going to be a little hard to see these, I feel like. Also, 9 is not nearly enough. For instance, my adventuring party, the home one at least, because they have 2 familiars. So there are 6. They have 4 players, 2 familiars, so there's 6 of them. And then bad guys. And you can't throw 3 bad guys at them. They're like level 11 or something now. But still, I like the concept for new players, or new DMs. It shows you can, hell, make your own. Color them in. That might be good. You just take permanent marker and color them in. So that's good. Okay, that's... How long have I been... Crap. I never hit record. Oh, well. I'll just download it from the stream. Okay. Here's the thing I was most excited about that I read. Status conditions. Poison, and then on the back it's got the poison dart that's in the player's handbook and on parts of the DMG. So, yeah, restrained, prone, poisoned, magic charm. What's that? That must be an effect in the adventure. Let me make sure I'm not covering my microphone with this piece of paper. Stunned. Oh, and this is cool too. Combat step by step. This is good for new players, especially DMs. Determine surprise. Establish initiative or establish positions. That's good to establish before a fight and before you roll initiative. I like that they point that out. Where's everybody in this fight? Okay. The ranger was by the stairs. The cleric was over here. The rogue was standing next to the cleric with their bow drawn. The fighter was yelling at some dude in their face. That's good. I like that. And then roll initiative, take turns, begin the new round. That's nice to hand out to new players. There's 3. I don't know if... Oh, there's plenty of more of these things. I don't know if there's any more. Let's see. More status conditions. Well, if there's only 3, the DM takes... So the DM takes one of the combat step-by-steps and then the other players have to share. That's not that bad. For new people. But... Okay. More conditions. Oh, and invisible. I don't know if that's normally a condition listed. Blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, grappled, incapacitated, invisible, paralyzed, and petrified. Okay. I'm going to do these in a second because I kind of wanted to do something with those. Magic item cards. Always good. Always cool. Saves the DM from having to write them all out, which is always annoying. But necessary. Some good magic items, too. Oh, perfect. They have 2 sending stones. That's great, because they come in pairs. You don't even have to share. I use some of these magic items, too. Potions. I wonder if... Okay, good. There are multiple potion ones. Good. So that's good. Looks like a couple of the common magic items from Xanathar's Guide got in here. Potions. Yeah, it looks like a lot of the common magic items. Some good magic items, it looks like, in this adventure. And some generic +1 items. Oh, fun. The +1 magic items have little minor properties. So, for instance, the battle axe lets you speak Dwarvish. The longbow, you can use an action to determine north. That's fun. Stuff like that. Awesome. Magic item cards are great. The thing I like about this is, even if these won't last you your entire DMing career, you will have to make new magic item cards. You can't use the same 27 cards or however many there were. You don't want to use the same magic items over and over again. But no, if you use these, if you you see that your players like them, you just make your own. Same thing with the initiative cards. If you run out, you make new ones. There are these quest cards, which are interesting. Yeah, just little. Here's what you have to do. Here's who you have to come back to. Here's your reward. Yeah. And one of them, the thing you get in the tomb is your reward. Come on, people. So that's interesting too. I've never made quest cards before, but it makes sense. Okay. And then these. Love the art. Are the NPC Sidekicks. So, Donabella Fiasco is a spellcaster. Galandro Luna is an expert who I think are kind of roguey. This is a warrior, an elf warrior. Inverna Nightbreeze. Nib. Oh, it's a halfling. I thought it was a little kid. That's funny. Nib Addlespur is a little halfling. Oh, it's Pickled Breet. Is an expert. Queen Hightopple is a warrior. Dwarven warrior. Human spellcaster. Ruby Hammerwhacker. Shanjan Quan. And Talon Thornwind, this Davy Crockett looking dude. So these are neat, these sidekicks. From what I read online, the one-on-one rules aren't very extensive. It's pretty much give them a sidekick that they pick. And these all seem fun. Donabella is a young magic user who wears a papier-mâché unicorn mask because it makes her feel more magical. Quan died and was raised from the dead as an infant, whereupon a tiny black glyph, the symbol of necromancy, appeared on his forehead. Yeah, you can kind of see it in the art. It's like a little horseshoe. And yeah, these can be fun. I don't know if... I think aesthetically, they're all interesting, and you could kind of just look at them and probably pick the one you want. I would probably pick Pickled Pete, just because it's fun to have like crazy old prospector. Yeah, and they all have personalities, ideals, bonds, flaws. Very nice. I like it. Okay. Next up, we have a fold-out map. So on one side is Phandalin. It's a very nice map of Phandalin. I love fold-out maps. Very nice. And on the other side is part of the Sword Coast. Oh. Sorry. There we go. So, let's see. Yeah, very small. It's like the Neverwinter and its suburbs. Yeah, there's like 3 things on this map. So you got Neverwinter, the Neverwinter Wood. Oh, sorry. Neverwinter Wood, Mount Hootnow. Phandalin's down here. Ice Spires. The Sword Mountains. The Mirror of Dead Men. Crypt Garden. If I remember correctly, there's totally a dragon that lives in Crypt Garden. Oh, it's Cloneyberry. I also saw some people online. I know some people are kind of sick of the Sword Coast as an adventuring location. I really like the Forgotten Realms, so I'm not complaining too much. And I like that for new players, one that it takes place in the same location as the starter set. So if you get the starter set and the essentials kit, one or the other, even, you can create a little 1 to 7 sandbox for your players. There's plenty of adventure in there for you. Take you a while to do all of it. But then beyond that, I like that all of the adventures are on the Sword Coast, just because if you do use the starter set and you build up NPCs, maybe they go to Neverwinter, maybe they, venture around, you can then take almost all of the published adventures and keep building that world. It's the Forgotten Realms, but it's your Forgotten Realms. It's the one you and your friends are making. So I like that. I know that some people really want something else. I would love something that's not the Sword Coast and the Forgotten Realms. And I want Spelljammer. I want more Ravenloft. Too much Forgotten Realms doesn't fall on deaf ears for me. Too much Sword Coast, I kind of get more. I would love to have more Forgotten Realms. Go to Kalimshan. Go to the Heartlands. We got the North. Go to the Moonshay. The Baldman Games did a Moonshay supplement. But that being said, the Sword Coast is a great region. There's a reason why there's so many adventures there. And I like that, especially an Essentials kit, a starter set, should be in the Forgotten Realms. It should be in the Sword Coast. That's where all the other adventures are. If you liked running this adventure and you want to run more, but you don't want to write your own, because not everybody wants to write their own. Not everybody has time to write their own. You can just go to the store and be like, okay, what's Prince of the Apocalypse? Oh, cool. This is in Red Larch. It's not far from Phandalin. Okay, I'm getting a world. If you have this much of the Sword Coast from the Essentials kit and the starter set, now you're tacking on this little bit down here. And then, okay, well, that was cool, but what's this Waterdeep Dragon heist? Okay, well, now I'm getting Waterdeep in the area, and you're kind of just building your own Sword Coast. And, okay, what's Storm King's Thunder? Oh, that's all this stuff up here. That's cool. So, yeah. This is my opinion. Okay. Coming to the end here. Okay. Again, this is the Rolebook, very decently thick. Nice paper. Conditions are on the back cover, which is nice. Honestly, I only use the player's handbook for the rules because I mostly DM rules and spells, and this almost certainly will not have all the spells in it. Now, just flipping through, it's got some. It's some, but oh, it's got low level spells. That makes sense. It's probably got nothing above 3rd level. Look, I mean, I have the player's handbook at my disposal nearby, but for the most part, I'm looking up rules. I don't really need to look up class features because I can just have my players do that because, it's kind of your responsibility to know your class features or to look them up. And then if you have a question after reading them, I'll adjudicate, and maybe then I have to look it up. But I try and let them kind of learn. I can't learn all the class features. I can't learn all the race features. I can't learn all the background features. There's a lot. So something like this is nice to have at the table. And I'd love that I can just flip it over to look at the conditions. Because half the time that's like, okay, where are the conditions again? Okay, they're after spells. They're before the gods and multiverse table or whatever's at the back. Like, they're in kind of a weird spot in the PHB. And I have complained about this on stream before, and Marty has complained about it on the stream before. The index of the player's handbook is garbage. That is my biggest complaint. Literally, my biggest complaint about 5th edition is I don't like the index. The edition's great. Okay, here's something else I was looking forward to, but I saw online. I'm a little disappointed in it. But here's the DM screen. Let me unfold it bit by bit because the art's amazing, which is why I was so excited for it. I like it way better than the main 2 DM screens. And here's the cool part. Here are the adventurers. Now, why I said I'm disappointed is it's not too bad. It's like cardstock. So but it's cardstock. It's not like that cardboard. And it's a little small, but it's a great travel little size. And the information on the back is better than the information on the back of the main DM screen. Yeah, this isn't too bad. I kind of have it set up in front of me. Although, well, hold on. Let me turn off this light for a second. Okay. Strong lights. You can see the image through the screen. The information on this is great, though. It lists all the actions you can take in combat. Attack, cast a spell, dash, disengage, dodge, help, hide, ready. Ooh, and it has little rules on ready. Ow, I don't know if I've ever played. If you ready a spell, you must have a casting time of 1 action, and you must concentrate on it until you release it. I don't know if I knew that. Search, use a magic item, use an object, use a special ability. It's got rules for jumping, because no one ever remembers the rules for jumping, both long and high. Concentration, that's a good thing to have. Things you can do in your turn. Move up to your speed, take 1 action, communicate with speech, gestures, or both. Interact with 1 object or feature of the environment as you move or take your action. To interact with a second would be use an object. So, open a door, draw your weapon, that kind of thing. It's got all the conditions. Setting a DC. Tracking DCs. Damage by level and severity. That's cool. Object armor class. Oh. That's cool too. Cloth paper, AC 11. Iron or steel, AC 19. Adamantine, 23. Object hit points, useful. That seems a little low, to be honest. A resilient large cart would have 27 hit points. Skills and their abilities. Oh, thank you. The best. My favorite part. Where are we? There we are. Food, drink, and lodging. That's great. I always have to. I printed out a sheet of paper. I don't know where I have it anymore. Honestly, I gotta reorganize my DM kit. It's because we started playing at my house. I have become less organized. It's bad. But one of my players their current character loves food, so they're always asking like what kind of food they have. And granted, these are just prices, but still. Services, travel pace, encounter distance, cover. Oh, it's cover. Light sources. Awesome. It's got a little size chart. That's cool, too. Yeah, if this were a full-size DM screen, this would be my DM screen. Without a doubt. Now and they just released the DM screen reincarnated or whatever it was called. And does anyone know if that, I thought I read that had the same information on the back, but I could be wrong about that because why would they do that? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I'll have to look that up because if it's this information, I'm getting it. This is great. And I might still use this, although, because my laptop's sort of a DM screen. I have that open most of the time. Yeah, this is pretty good. I like it. And it will be my travel DM screen. For certain. I will probably bring this thing to cons. And last in the box. Oh. Two more things. The thing I'm most excited about is at the very bottom. Character sheets. Your typical character sheet. Stuff on the back. Spell casting isn't a huge area. Is there a separate spells sheet? No. So might when I have to. When we played 4E, we had all of our powers on cards, spells on cards. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do that in 5e. They sell them. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone hand write them out. It'd be an awful lot. Oh no, Marty did, I think. For Chaudhry, I think he did. I could be wrong about that. But it's a lot. It's a lot to handwrite them all. But good character sheets. I like everything they fit on here nowadays. It doesn't look like it's anything new. Here is a super minimal note. I wish passive perception. I wish it listed how you calculate it, because no one ever knows. Like I every time I ask what is your passive perception to a player, I tell them how to calculate it. It's not a big deal. It's 10 plus perception, but I kind of wish that was just passive perception, parentheses, 10 plus perception. I know that doesn't fit with their nomenclature for skills anymore is the problem, and how do you get it so it's so cramped? I just wish... I just wish it was like, instead of asking what your passive perception is, maybe underneath include like a little blurb to, to determine passive scores. Because in 4E, passive insight was a thing. I'm sure there are some DMs who use passive investigation. Especially if a player asks for it. Okay. And the last thing is... I'm not gonna... I don't want to inadvertently show my codes. This is something that I was most excited about, and in addition to the adventure itself, the screen, the dice, I wanted the D&D Beyond stuff. Because I've been thinking about like kind of going into D&D Beyond a little bit more. And I wanted to know how adventures looked in there, especially before I buy stuff and, you know, I get the master tier and want to share it with my friends. How does that work? How does it look? Will I like it? I use the D&D Beyond character creator. I've pieced together little bits and pieces. I've got like 3 races or whatever. But this will let me see what, like, you know, how searching for monsters and all that stuff works. And it's got 50% off the PHB, which I will use. So sorry, let me explain. The Essentials Kit comes with an unlockable version of the adventure inside from D&D Beyond. And 50% off the Player's Handbook, which is great. So the Player's Handbook is normally $30 on D&D Beyond, maybe $25. So yeah, that's awesome. It's something when I read that, it incentivized me to buy this sooner, because I had been thinking about D&D Beyond. That being said, there's one other thing I wanted to do. Let me put these back a little bit. Because I saw someone say online they didn't like that the cards had little perforated edges. They would have preferred them to be pre-cut. So let me see. Let me see if I care. You probably can't even see it on the stream. I don't think that's too bad, but I'm not too particular. I can see if you were particular, you wouldn't like it. You could do, if you were particular, though, there's no information near them. You could take a paper cutter and just skim off the edges. I don't think that's so bad. Okay. So, all of that, rambled out and showing you what's up. I think this is a pretty good deal for $25. You get a 64-page adventure. It takes you from 1 to 6 or 1 to 7. A Chris Perkins adventure. Those are nice. Big fan. That alone would probably be $10. You're getting $15 off the D&D Beyond. I won't include that in the cost because some people won't use that. You're getting the basic rules, which is another... Crap. Sorry. Getting the basic rules, which is another 64-page booklet. Another 64-page booklet. You get a little map. That's nice. You get all these cards. The adventure and the dice. The dice set would probably be $10. I think this is a good deal. I really do. I think if you are a beginning DM who wants to learn how to play, wants to walk your players through things, I think this is I haven't looked at the adventure too much yet, so I can't speak to that. But it's a Chris Perkins adventure. I can't imagine it's bad. It almost literally can't be bad. So yeah. I think if you see this in your target, it's certainly a product aimed towards newer DMs, newer players. That being said, I think you'll still get some value out of it, especially if, like me, you are a experienced DM who often teaches new players how to play. So I have taught 2 of my wife's friend groups how to play. My brother recently asked me if I would teach him and his friends how to play. I have a feeling I've used various adventures before. Before Ghost of Saltmarsh, I actually used the Sinister Secrets of Saltmarsh to teach players, because it's got a little bit of everything. Which actually means I should look at... I have the Ghost of Saltmarsh. I should read it and see if it would still be a good intro adventure. But I have a feeling I will be using this from now on. It's just going to be easier. I like the dice. Enthusiastic thumbs up from me. I think this is a good product, a good investment. If you are, is it a necessary product? Probably not. But if you're curious about DMing, if maybe you've been a player for a long time and you want to DM, this little box can be your DM box. It's got extra room in there. You get DM dice. I have player dice. I have DM dice. My player dice don't see much use anymore, but I have them. This wasn't sealed. Okay, good. You can put everything you need in this little box. You have your adventure, your screen, all your little cards. You can almost certainly fit more 3x5 cards in here. Do I have any 3x5 cards nearby? Of course not. Fits a post-it note. This might be a little small for 3x5 cards, but you can fit little card. You can fit all your cards in here. You can probably fit your dice in here. It'll fit in here, nice. And once I rip up all those sheets and put them in here, there'll be plenty of room. It's a good sturdy box. It's got cool art on it. Yeah. Heartily endorse the Essentials kit. Well. Oh, geez. 2 to 6 players. That's kind of funny on the front. Yeah, I guess so. It doesn't say role-playing game on the back. It says cooperative storytelling game. Dungeons & Dragons is the world's best cooperative storytelling game. World's greatest. What do they usually say? World's greatest? World's greatest role-playing game. Okay. I think that's it for me for tonight. Thank you for checking this out, watching the Essentials kit be unboxed, and kind of me talk through it. Follow me on Twitter. I mostly just post what I'm streaming and when things go up on YouTube, but that's the best way to figure out what we're doing, when we're doing it. This week on Task Force Unlikely, the players are in a drow city, and they've been lying their teeth off. That's a phrase. I'm sure that won't come back to haunt them at all. Next Monday is the faction turn, which may be pre-recorded this week. But it's the faction turn, and then Wednesday is Spelljammer, jamming through the spells, and they are on the world of Bide, which is my homebrew that I have never used before. So this is the first time anyone is experiencing this. I've told people about it, my home group, a little bit, but yeah. Maybe someday I'll talk about what kind of my Spelljammer philosophy is, but not now, not today. Anyway, have a great night, everybody.